Now today we will start with one of the chapter from physical chemistry, that is ionic equilibrium. Okay, so what is ionic equilibrium? The equilibrium concept which is applicable for the reactions in which ions are formed. Okay, the equilibrium concept which is applicable for the ionic species in solution is nothing but ionic equilibrium. Ionic equilibrium is the equilibrium concept, okay, which is applicable for the ionic species in solution. Okay, so first of all we will see what is equilibrium. What is equilibrium? What I have told you, equilibrium concept when it is applied for the ionic species in solution, that is ionic equilibrium. So first of all we will see equilibrium concept. Actually ionic equilibrium, this particular chapter, is the continuation of chemical equilibrium which we have seen in the last in 11th standard, isn't it? So actually you know the concept, but we will revise it. For understanding the concept of equilibrium, let us take an example of one of the chemical reaction, general chemical reaction, A plus B giving C plus D. Okay, we are written one general chemical reaction, A plus B giving C plus D, which is a reversible chemical reaction. Okay, means what? Reactants are converted into products, and products are able to react with each other to form original reactants, that is reversible chemical reaction. And the equilibrium concept is applicable only for reversible chemical reactions. Okay, now see, in the beginning we have A and B with us. Rate of any chemical reaction depends upon the concentration of reactants. So rate of forward reaction or rate of reverse reaction, it depends upon concentration of reactants. Okay, rate of forward reaction is dependent on A plus B, their concentration, and for reverse reaction C and D are the reactants, and therefore rate of reverse reaction is proportional to concentration of C and D. Okay, so in the beginning we have large quantity of A and B, and we do not have the products C and D in the beginning, they are not formed only, and therefore rate of forward reaction is very high. Rate of forward reaction is very high. Okay, as the time passes, more and more products will form. More and more products will form, C and D, and therefore their concentration will start increasing, and rate of reverse reaction will start increasing. Okay, at the same time rate of forward reaction will start decreasing because the concentration of A and B is going to get decreased. Okay, the time will come when the rate of forward reaction and rate of reverse reaction, they will become equal, and that particular point in the chemical reaction, reversible chemical reaction, when rate of forward reaction and rate of reverse reaction are equal, that is equilibrium point. Okay, and when the same concept we are going to apply for the reactions in which ions are formed, okay, that becomes ionic equilibrium. So this is about equilibrium. Now we will proceed the chapter with electrolytes and non-electrolytes. And non-electrolytes. So why we are proceeding with electrolytes and non-electrolytes? Because electrolytes are the substances. Electrolytes are the substances which are able to give ions, which are able to form ions in aqueous solution. Okay, and non-electrolytes are the substances which are not able to give ions in solution. For example, electrolytes, all acids, all bases and salts, these are electrolytes. Acids, whether weak or strong. Okay, bases, whether weak or strong, all salts are all electrolytes because they produce ions in aqueous solution when they are dissolved in water. For example, if we take HCl, okay, acid, it will produce H plus and Cl minus ions in water. If we take CH3COOH, weak acid, it will form CH3COO minus acetate ions and H plus ions in aqueous solution. Bases like NaOH, KOH, NH4OH, they are able to give ions K plus and OH minus, Na plus and OH minus in aqueous solution. Similarly, salts like NaCl, isn't it? KCl, then Na2CO3, Pb, NO3 twice, lead nitrate. So all these salts they will produce ions when they are dissolved in aqueous solution. They will come under electrolytes. Non-electrolytes, the substances which do not produce ions in aqueous solution, they will remain in molecular form in aqueous solution. For example, urea, substances like urea or glucose, when they are dissolved in water, they will remain in molecular form. They do not undergo dissociation. Okay. So our chapter is ionic equilibrium related to ions. So we are going to proceed with electrolytes because they are forming ions. Okay. So electrolytes are divided into two types: strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. So strong electrolytes like strong acids HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, or weak strong bases like KOH, NaOH, and all salts. They will come under strong electrolytes. So what are strong electrolytes? Strong electrolytes are the substances which will dissociate, ionize completely in aqueous solution. Okay. So how to show their dissociation? HCl, for example, H plus Cl minus in aqueous solution in water. They are going to completely dissociated in water. So only one-headed arrow is shown to indicate their dissociation. Weak electrolytes are the substances which undergo dissociation to small extent in aqueous solution. So under them, weak acids like CH3COOH, acetic acid, weak bases like ammonium hydroxide, they will come. All weak acids and weak bases are weak electrolytes. So weak electrolytes are the substances which dissociate, which do not undergo complete dissociation, only partial dissociation. Okay. So some molecules of them, they will remain in molecular form. So we will have equilibrium between the ions which are formed and the molecules which are undissociated. Okay. So equilibrium will exist. These are reversible reactions. NH4 plus OH minus. Okay. So this is about strong and weak electrolytes. Now we will proceed the chapter with degree of dissociation. We will proceed with degree of dissociation, which is applicable for actually to weak electrolytes. Degree of dissociation means what? You know now, weak electrolytes, they do not undergo complete dissociation. Only fraction of them, they will undergo dissociation when equilibrium is reached. Okay. So fraction of total number of moles of electrolyte that will undergo dissociation when the equilibrium is reached. That is nothing but degree of dissociation. See, degree of dissociation. That is alpha. Okay. Weak electrolytes like acetic acid or ammonium hydroxide, they will undergo partial dissociation. All the molecules of them, they are not going to undergo ionization or dissociation. So when the equilibrium is reached, when the rate of forward reaction and rate of reverse reactions are equal, okay, that time, whatever is the fraction of total number of moles initially we have taken, that will undergo dissociation. That is nothing but degree of dissociation. So degree of dissociation alpha is equal to number of moles dissociated upon total number of moles which we had taken initially. Okay, and percentage dissociation. Percentage dissociation is equal to alpha into 100. Percentage dissociation is equal to alpha into 100. That is about degree of dissociation. Okay, now we are going to proceed the chapter with acids and bases. After electrolytes and non-electrolytes. So why acids and bases we are taking? Because acids and bases are electrolytes. Acids and bases are electrolytes, and our chapter is related to the ions. Okay, so acids and bases, they are going to form ions in water, and therefore first of all we will see different theories, different definitions of acids and bases given by different scientists. So first of all we will see Arrhenius theory. According to Arrhenius, what is acid, what is base? Okay, so according to Arrhenius, acids are the substances. Acids are the substances which contain hydrogen H and which produce H plus ions in aqueous solution. What is acid? Acid is a substance which contain hydrogen, okay, and which will produce H plus ions in aqueous solution, that is acid. Okay, for example, HCl is acid because in aqueous solution it forms H plus ions. Okay, actually what is the reaction? HCl, we are adding it in water, isn't it? So H plus ions are going to be dissociated. They will react with water and we will get actually hydronium ion, H3O plus and Cl minus. So this H plus, it will react actually with water, okay, and they will form hydronium ions, okay, but we can show the reaction this way also, HCl giving H plus plus Cl minus, okay, for convenience. Okay, so this is about acids. What are bases? Bases are the substances. Bases are the substances which contain hydroxide group OH and which produces OH minus ions in aqueous solution. So bases are the substances, okay, which contain hydroxide group, hydroxyl or hydroxide group, and which produce OH minus ions in aqueous solution. For example, NaOH, NaOH, KOH, NH4OH, isn't it? So NaOH, when dissolved in water, it produces Na plus OH minus ions. NH4OH, it is weak base and therefore reaction is reversible. So NH4 plus OH minus in aqueous solution. So what is common in all bases? They produce OH minus ions in aqueous solution. What is common in all acids? They produce H plus ions in aqueous solution. This is the theory given by Arrhenius regarding acids and bases. Okay. Now there are certain limitations to this theory. There are certain limitations to Arrhenius theory. So the very first limitation is it is applicable only for aqueous solution. It is applicable only for aqueous solution. And the second limitation, now see, according to Arrhenius, bases are the substances which contain hydroxide group and which will produce OH minus ion hydroxide ions in aqueous solutions. In aqueous solution. Okay, but the substances like ammonia, or you can take Na2CO3, which do not have hydroxyl group, but they are basic in nature. Substances like ammonia or ammonium carbonate, even if they do not have OH minus ion hydroxide group, they are basic in nature. So this was not explained by Arrhenius. So we will proceed for the next theory. The next theory was given by Bronsted and Lowry. Bronsted and Lowry. So according to Lowry-Bronsted concept, acid is proton donor, while proton means what? H plus ion donor. Okay, and base is proton acceptor. Base is H plus ion acceptor. Okay, according to Arrhenius theory, acid is the substance which gives H plus ion in aqueous solution, and base is the substance which gives OH minus ion in aqueous solution. According to Lowry-Bronsted theory, acid is proton donor, but base is proton acceptor, not necessarily in aqueous solution. Okay, for example, if you will carry out the reaction between one acid and one base, okay, see, it will take NH3 plus HCl. Okay, NH3 plus HCl, which is acid, which is base. Which are the products? See, products are NH4 plus and Cl minus. What is happening in this reaction? See, if you see carefully, in the forward reaction, HCl is giving proton. Okay, so it is according to Lowry-Bronsted, it is an acid. While at the same time, proton which was given will be accepted by ammonia because it is converted into NH4 plus, so it is base. Okay, if you will see the reverse reaction, in the reverse reaction, NH4 plus has given proton and it is converted into NH3, so it is acid. Okay, and Cl minus has accepted proton and converted into HCl, that is base. Okay, now if you observe the species carefully, NH3 and NH4 plus, NH3 and NH4 plus, they differ by proton, so they will form one acid base pair, base 1 acid 1. Okay, at the same time, in the same reaction, we have HCl and Cl minus, which are also differing by proton, so that will form another acid base pair. Okay, so NH3 and NH4 plus is one acid base pair which is differing by proton. Okay, HCl and Cl minus is another acid base pair differing by proton. Such an acid base pair which is differing by proton, that is conjugate acid base pair. So NH3 and NH4 plus is one of the pair, conjugate acid base pair. HCl and Cl minus is another conjugate acid base pair. Okay. Now, if you will write number 2 for this particular pair, NH3 NH4 plus, and number 1 for HCl and Cl minus pair, that is also okay. Okay. Now, this is about Lowry-Bronsted theory. Okay. Now we will go to Lewis theory. The next theory is Lewis theory. According to Lewis, base is a substance which is electron pair donor, and acid is a substance which is electron pair acceptor. Okay, acid is electron pair acceptor and base is electron pair donor. For example, if you have a reaction between NH3 and BF3, NH3 and PF3, which is acid, which is base. Okay, so according to Lewis, if you will draw their structures, actual structures, NH3, one lone pair of electrons is there with nitrogen, isn't it? And PF3. So if you observe the structures carefully, nitrogen in NH3 is having one lone pair of electron, and boron, if you will see, it is surrounded by only 6 electrons as it has formed 3 bonds. It is surrounded by only 6 electrons. Okay, so nitrogen from NH3 can give electron pair to boron, so that both of them, they will have 8 electrons. Okay, so this is shown with the help of an arrow. Okay, so NH3 has given electrons, so it is Lewis base, and BF3 has accepted electrons, so it is Lewis acid. Okay, and such bond, which is not actually ionic bond, which is not actually covalent bond also. Okay, the shared electron pair comes only from one atom, that is coordinate covalent bond, that is coordinate covalent bond. Okay, so these are different theories which are given for explaining acids and bases, and we will proceed chapter in the next video.